go back to the other screen, then it should be showing, right?
Yep.
Like on delay.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So we'll refresh.
And there we are. Okay. Second.
Let's shine.
And then at the end, I just make sure I end the meeting.
Yeah. So you want it, then you end the
There.
stream,
End stream on YouTube,
and then you end it on Zoom.
on Zoom. End stream.
And it'll come up and it'll say something. And I just usually hit dismiss because
Okay.
I don't remember exactly what it asked, but
Okay.
this isn't where. So see, now I'm not seeing it here.
Yeah.
So now I'm going to do this. I'm going to go to our WCHD.
Oh, and
Page.
see if it's on the YouTube thing. Okay.
And I'm going to go to our Board of Health
Okay.
page.
Oh, and click on the link.
Yep.
Okay.
So
There
you
you
see
are.
it there. So then you click on it.
Okay, and it's good.
And there's one more thing that we do.
Okay. On the YouTube thing. Okay.
I'm going to go to our Board of Health page.
Oh, and click on the link.
Okay. Yeah, it's getting us for somewhere.
It's delayed.
It's not like- See, something's wrong.
Is it delayed? You're
Okay,
like
you
frozen.
are there. So yeah, you click on it.
Okay, and it's good. Yeah, really
And there's one
delayed.
more thing we do.
Okay. On the YouTube thing. Okay.
I'm going to our Board of Health page. And it's
Oh,
frozen.
and click on the link.
Yeah, it's getting us for somewhere.
No, you're not frozen. Look, you're moving.
Oh, okay.
It's just really delayed. There's like almost a 3 or 4 second delay. Is it delayed?
Okay, so once you know the sound is
up,
then you can click the sound off too.
So that on there, so that there's no.
Yeah.
Oh,
But you can't
right.
do this one
On
or
second mute sound.
not on yours here, or it won't go.
Right, on the Zoom, never mute. Okay.
I can't remember. We
I
didn't
can't,
test
no.
that again because we tested it before and I don't remember.
If I mute, then when I record, it's not
not doing it.
right. There won't be sound. Okay, so I'll try it again at 5:30.
Okay.
Thank you
Sounds
so
good.
much. We're live, right?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mhm.
It's not going to be much of a meeting with the three of us.
It's not.
Hello?
Hi, everyone.
Hey, hi, Bob.
How's everyone?
Good. Just to let you know
Good.
we're live. Sorry.
Okay. All right. I'll be careful.
Okay.
I guess I should start putting it on this year since I seem to be.
Yeah, it's better than being dead.
Trying to find my notes.
Oh, here comes Angie.
So, Ron,
Yes, sir.
have you had your vaccine yet?
No, you?
No.
Looks like Angie's having trouble.
Can you hear us, Angie?
Mm. Looks like she's still connecting.
Yeah, for quite a while.
Mm.
She doesn't connect. We don't have a quorum.
That's not good.
Unless Pat's coming. Or Lucy.
Mhm.
Hey, Lucy.
I'm here.
All right.
So are you in Japan now with the background?
No, I'm just frozen.
Oh, you frozen. Did you sign up for your do a registration for your vaccine?
No, not yet.
Well, get on with it.
I want to wait and see how you do.
Oh, okay. Well, I probably am way down the list anyway.
Hey, Todd.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Hi, Todd.
Hi, Todd.
Hello, hello. Happy New Year. And
Yeah, Happy New Year.
Yeah.
I hope it's a happy new year.
Well, it's a continuation. I'll call it right now, but
Yeah, right.
The month is half over already.
I agree. Time flies. I'll tell you that. But I don't know if Katie has announced that. I know Dr. Martell is still in that press conference. Is that?
I think it's finished. It's finished now.
Oh, it is finished.
Because I was watching it.
All right. I can start it, but the respect to Dr. Martell, I guess we can wait.
Yeah, Angie just got connected, I think. Right?
Angie is connecting.
I'm here.
Okay, good. Is Pat coming? Do you know? Does anybody know?
Don't know.
Don't know.
Christina, do you know?
Todd, you want to go ahead and get started?
Well, of course, I will. I start the meeting. I'm sorry, Chairman.
Okay. We will do so. We'll call the policy committee meeting to order. And I need approval of the agenda.
So moved.
I'll take that as a move in a second.
It sounds good.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, we have our agenda, and I see we have our favorite piece of property in the Chesney Park,
Of course.
1220 Harbor Oaks variance, and your response letter. It looks good to me.
True. Actually, it's 12220.
You missed a 2?
Yeah, that's my fault. So I probably sorry, Christina. I probably gave you that one, but it's one more 2 in there. So
does that mean we were giving the variance to the wrong property?
no, I the letter is correct. Though let me see if it's on the letter here.
Are we scaring somebody at 1220?
Probably so.
So the letter goes to Eagle Valley Trail.
Yeah, that's where, because this is considered new construction. So yes, they do not reside at this property yet. But so if I may, Chairman, that
Sure.
To start this off, I took a stab at this, and obviously Dr. Martell and Charlotte felt that I'm interpreted our last discussion that we had last month, and I put it on paper, and this is where it's at. I have not sent it out. Now, please understand, I've had a previous email to them saying, this is my interpretation of what we discussed. So I did have that transparency of what was discussed because they were eager to know what they need to gather. And I told them that this is not the end of it. We might have to gather up some more information once we receive this type of information. But I said, formally, there will be a letter going out. And this is it right here. So,
okay. Did you send it on the 5th?
No, because at the time, no, I'll have to change that date on that. That is true. I didn't know to send it out prior, but then that's when we're trying to set up the agenda, and I was informed to just hold off until everybody took a look at it before we responded. So that was the date I put on it.
Okay.
But that will be revised to today's date, or actually tomorrow's date. If everybody feels comfortable with this, I will send this out. If I may continue here, obviously there's a few things that maybe need to be added, and after more thinking about it, and the scary thing to be open about, there was something with the Flint, Michigan today, and liability and all of that. I don't know if anybody watched CNN this morning or what the world news. Okay, all right.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
Hello, Sandra.
Hello, I am concerned.
You with us?
So
The only question I have on this is the thing about the umbrella liability insurance. I really thought that was more for like if you were in a car accident or something like that that they couldn't take your house and everything else from you. It just covered so much. I had one until I dropped my real estate license, and then I figured, you know, because I had people in my car and all this, and so I dropped it. But I'm uncomfortable with the umbrella liability. Perhaps there's a different type of one. I'd like to know more understanding of what that umbrella liability insurance would actually be all about.
Ms. Squirrel, and that was how they interpreted to us. Now, until I get something back from the insurance company directly from them, I'm not sure. That's how they said it was. It was an umbrella.
Well,
Yeah, I know.
So,
Well, I think that's what you're getting at in your first bullet point.
Protecting.
You want to know what.
It's
what's
only protecting
coverage.
them.
well, exactly. I was just saying, what do you mean by this? Or what did I say? What claims? Because I'm using the same verbiage, but maybe not.
Well, I
Well, I
think,
think it's smart saying, you know, what does the umbrella insurance policy cover, and that you want to know more about it. I thank you for looking into that and wanting more questions on it. There could be different umbrellas, but basically the ones I'm aware of would protect me and not you. And so I have a problem with that.
and again, I think this is just the first step, and I let them to be prepared. There's going to be questions after question. It's till we both totally understand and clear of what this is.
yeah, because
this
I would be
starts the
very,
ball.
yeah, I would be very concerned about, given what we're seeing today, where government officials typically are, there's some degree of tort immunity. And, you know, talking to Charlotte a little bit today, that they're going after the elected officials as part of the Flint that made the decision that impacted the environment. And so I really want to make sure that you as the board are protected, the county is protected, because again, that's where we're really, it's, you know, we come back and say that, you know, it was our responsibility. We made the decision to allow them to have that holding tank. And allowed them to do that. And when it broke away and contaminated, you know, whatever. And yes, we may be planning for the what ifs, but at the end of the day, these are things that aren't always able to be cleaned up as nice and wrapped up in as complete a package. But I think we still need a little more information on this.
Absolutely. They will always come after us. We're supposed to be the ones with the deep pockets.
We at least need to start out someplace to get more information. I think this is going to elicit that. And like you said in your letter, and like we said in our last meeting, this could be just the start of more questions and more requests for information. For a minute there, we had Pat twice, so I thought you wanted 2 votes.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
No, I was having more trouble. I was switching things to sign in on because it just wasn't working for some reason the way I usually sign in. So I apologize for being late.
Oh, that's okay. Angie's on twice, so she gets 2 votes.
Yeah, that's what, because I had problems getting on too. I always have problems getting on. I have too many fingers.
All right, so you want our blessing on your letter?
That's what I'm asking. Like I said, hopefully this at least starts conversation while we looking into more about liability and stuff. I think we need to know what this is all about first and just start from there.
And probably it's not necessarily a blessing, Ron. Did it incorporate everything that you had questions on from the last meeting? I mean, I think that we're going to send it out, right? And whatever decisions come back, then you would act on that. But we wanted to kind of bring forward what Todd had put together to ask the additional questions. Are there other questions that and this pass, we know there could be because we've got our open end at the bottom, but are there other things that need to be addressed?
Would that be a conversation between Todd and the insurance company?
Well, I'll be bringing that. I'll be presenting everything through the administration and the board.
It should be in writing.
Yes, it'll all be in writing. And I did clarify that at the bottom saying, please understand, there's going to be further questions and concerns following this. I mean, it's being very open about it. So.
Right.
I don't have a problem with the letter. Anybody else have anything to
No.
add?
No,
No.
I think this is where we need to start, and it's not the end of it for sure. So,
No, it can't be. Todd and I both know that about 15 years ago, we got into a predicament down here on Auburn Street in that subdivision. And what happened down there, and it was a mess. And thank God it wasn't our fault. It happened to be the trunk that the city had running through there that broke. So, you know, you have to try and he's covering our bases, and I appreciate that, Todd. I really do.
Thank you. So
Okay,
more to
so-
come, but sending out the letter, I'll still wait until the full board, right? Then I send out the letter. Or should I?
I don't think so.
No,
I think
I
we
was
can go ahead.
information you can get, and what do you think, Ron?
Yeah, no, I think we can send the letter out. We're just requesting more information. We're not taking action. So,
right.
yeah, Sandra, you got to undo your muting if you want to talk to us.
I know, space bar. Again, I was repeating the same thing, is that we really just wanted to share where we were at based on the last actions of the policy and the board. And that we try to put this together. We're going to go out and get some more, and we'll bring back whatever responses we have for this group to consider, and then if they need additional. So it was just to bring you up to speed on that. So I don't think we need to wait for the entire board. You can certainly, yeah.
No, this is committee work.
Let's just hope they get tired of us and decide not to do it.
Yeah, what? Build a park? What are they going to do?
So
They
good.
can sell the land to the neighbors next door on each side, whatever.
Yeah,
Because
sell
there's
it
a dwelling that's still there.
to
Yeah.
1220, since we scared them.
Yeah.
So I will get this letter out tomorrow. I'll redate it, revise the date on that, and I'll get that out. And again, everybody has to understand, this is only about the insurance thing, because our variance, there's so much more to this, the oversight and everything on this, inspecting it every so often. And yes, having contracts with the pumper, showing receipts from the water district, and, metering this water and knowing where it's going. So it's just a little piece of the pie here. We need more questions on. So,
Right.
all
Thanks,
right.
Todd.
Thank you.
Next thing on the list is Winnebago County Soil Water Conservation District, which I found fascinating since I didn't know we had one.
Yes.
And I've never heard of it before.
Oh, yeah, we've had, yes, since I've been here 25 years, yes.
Well, I haven't heard it mentioned once in any board meeting or policy meeting or any meeting since I started.
They are a partner of us for septic systems. Obviously, we quit. Legally responsible to have a soil scientist on staff at all times. We had to outsource that. So,
Pat, we're getting feedback from you.
somebody, okay.
There you go. Thank you.
And actually, it's in our code that we have to go through the Soil and Water Conservation Office to determine soils, and what that determines is suitability, the size of the septic system, and size, and making sure what type of septic systems to protect the groundwater. So we do.
So every time we've had a request for variance and we had to check on septics and whether it could fit or not, you have gone through them, but we just never heard their name.
That is true. And that's just a small part. And that's at the beginning. Once we get past what the type of septic, that's where it usually gets into the variance process and all of that. So, and that's even holding with the one on Harbor Oaks, the holding tank, because the soils are so bad. I mean, they're horrible. It's a swamp, and we know that information. That's why it was suggested as a holding tank on the last variance. So, if I may speak or continue to speak here, and right up at the top, he is correct. It's probably been about 10 years. And I just want to make sure the board understands our services, the amount of money that we've been receiving has covered our services to a point. I would say in the last probably couple of years, we've maybe fallen behind a little bit. So I'm glad this is being brought up. I would say at least an hour, hour and a half of our time, and that means paperwork, scanning, printing, mailing, and all that. But they want to do the increase of $50, additional $50 to cover their cost. Now, there is some things that I am suggesting also through the board is I'm not sure why previous staff here and all that wanted two separate fees, for one for new construction, one for repair. Now, I understand new construction, you're starting fresh and getting a 30-year loan and all that kind of stuff, but actually it takes more time to do a repair soil boring because you got utilities, you got access to the backyard. There's so much more to it. So I was trying to do only one cost. It doesn't matter if it's new construction or repair. It should just be one cost. So he's suggesting on this $325. That'd be for everything. That says all applications, because when I talked to him, he's in agreement also on that.
So that's for initial borings.
Yep, initial borings. That means the first borings, and if they're bad, you can do supplementals, and we'll get into that. But so instead of having repair and new construction and all that kind of stuff for all application, doesn't matter if it's repair or new construction, it's $325 that we provide to him. But our cost, I was going to raise that to $125. As you can see, it was $103 for repairs we would get and $122 for new construction. So the way you look at it, we're only increasing maybe, well, it would be, it'd be 103, 125. What is that? That's $22.
But is that going to be enough to get you back where you're even?
I do. Like I said, I did a little cost analysis, and what I'm trying to, it's about an hour asking staff the amount of time that they review the soil borings and put our findings on what we determine, what type of septic and all of that, scanning and printing and mailing. Our cost of $125 will suffice. It will cover our cost.
Since then,
I can see why his
we've
cost.
never done this. No, I was just going to say, since I've never done this and I've never seen it done, we take this to the board, then it goes somewhere else after the board?
Since it's part of the code, yes, it would go to the county board too.
Okay.
And I understand right now is probably not the best time with everything going on and the impacts of everybody because of COVID. But this is a request from the Soil and Water Conservation Office. And I do agree, it takes them 3-4 hours to do soil borings for $325. That is not bad to get that professional. And I did do some cost analysis with some counties, McHenry County, down in Peoria, similar demographics and all of that. And they're between $400 to $500. So we'd be right in the range of $325 and our $125, that's $450. And I'm more than happy at the full board to show that analysis. I apologize, things just get a little crazy and trying to get this thing in on the agenda, but more than happy.
Todd, I ask you a question. On that new construction, are they doing 2 soil borings at the same time? So in the future, in case one fails, the other one is available? Is that why they charge so much money?
Oh, Ms. Corley, that's okay. That is a good point. They do a little more borings because I would love to get that. And our code does say we should have two areas for new construction. And the reason, and that is great in a perfect world, but our problem, Angie, and I think, our lots are small. And because it falls under the subdivision code, which is not under our authority, it's under community development.
So we have to go back and change some of this, Todd. because of the fact that we're talking about a half-acre lot for septic and well.
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
what is it, 30,000 square feet? Yeah,
All right, so that's why we only do the one soil boring.
exactly.
But then what happens when that fails, then we have another problem because we have a contaminated piece of property that is no good. Unless for some reason we can get a different type of a septic in there that costs sky high. Perhaps we need to really go back and take a look at, we probably should have done it when we did the 2030 plan, increase the size of the lots. Is there any way we can go back and amend that?
Well, the issue is, as the director, I reached out to them several times to work with them on that. I don't know why it was hesitant for them to move forward to make lots bigger. Obviously, that's an issue with developers, with everybody. And
No, I don't. Boone County does it. Ogle County does it. I don't know about Stevenson County, but we have two small counties that you have to have two soil borings on new construction.
they have 1 acre lots. Now, in Winnebago County, you can have 25,000 square feet or 30,000 square feet. Those are smaller lots. Now,
That would solve our problem on swimming pools too. If they want to have a swimming pool by having a bigger lot to start out with.
And Andrew, I agree. The big picture is to get to that. And I have been in conversations with the state's attorney of doing a lot of code changes to the well and septic. But it's to satisfy the soil and water and maybe to increase that. But Andrew, you are correct. I have battled this since I was a supervisor and not getting much cooperation because I feel that the developers had a big input.
Let's go back.
Incorporated in my code, not their code, but.
Let's go back and take a look at what's happened over the last 10 years. We don't have the developers anymore. So perhaps this is the time that we need to go forward and start changing some of these codes or updating them. Let's put it this way, updating the codes so that the new developers, whenever the housing market gets going again, which it is, we need to do that prior to. We have also said you can only, I think in our code, on our 2030 plan, you can't even put a subdivision close to a municipality anymore. So, because they would have to hook up to sewer. And that's something.
We're the big push on that one. I led that. It's got to be 1.5 miles away at least from sewer because we were having issues. I did a big project up in Roscoe, and that's why the nitrates were getting high up there in the water because of the clustering of septic systems. And that's how we were able to get that changed, that you have to be at least 1.5 miles to develop a septic subdivision. But the big picture, and you are correct, 10 years ago, there was different people on the board and there was developers. And
we had a lot of developers. We don't have them anymore.
Yeah, we did.
This is the time for us to bring this forward again and see if there's not something we can do about it so that when new developers start developing again, I'm sorry, they're going to have to have a bigger lot, but they will also have bigger and higher priced houses too. So it could be actually to their advantage.
True, and beautify the properties and all that with pools. So Andrew, I agree. I think that's the big picture, and I promise you, I'm going to bring a code back really in the near future here, once we get past the pandemic here, and really work on that. I do. And this is just a small part that I don't think it's a big impact, but it's assisting them to cover their cost, and that's really right now. But definitely, I got to get back to that code.
I'd like to bring us back to the agenda item that we're talking about because we kind of drifted away.
Yeah.
So we want to change the health department's proposed application fee to $125 for all initial borings, and then change the fee for the soil conservation district to $325. That would be our recommendation on initial borings.
That is correct. A total of $450. Yes.
Okay.
$325 for them and $125 for us.
Now supplemental borings too. We're gonna take this all at once.
Yep, I'd like to take this all at once.
Well, Todd, you don't have a choice on taking the conservation and soil water boring, right? I mean, let's be clear.
Yeah, you're right. Let's talk about changing.
Do you have a schedule? And I apologize because I'm looking at this. And do you have what you want to propose the fee? It would appear to me, Ron, and everybody on the team as the chair, that we don't have a choice in what soil and water conservation district charges us.
No, I agree. They just know what the total cost is and we reimburse their part. So
wait, stop. So are we proposing on increasing the total? So then.
Yes.
Okay, you need to put it, I think it would be more clear for all of us to understand, like to put a table together that says, what do we owe Soil and Water Conservation District, their new proposed fee, our new proposed fee, so that we get a total, and then what it compares to. We don't have any flexibility. We have to incorporate the cost of the Soil and Water Conservation District. Regardless, if we don't incorporate it, we still have to pay it.
Okay, that's good. I thought we were approving their increase. We're
No,
not.
No,
That's just
we
their
have
increase.
to increase to satisfy that. We have to increase our fees.
Okay,
Yeah.
I didn't understand what was happening then.
As
Yeah.
I recall, they have their own board, do they not?
Yeah,
Yes,
oh
they
no,
have
they're
their own
telling
board.
us, this is your new fee. So,
Okay,
and I'm
Yeah.
like, and I think that what Todd, we need to do is to indicate what we want our fee to be on that, because we don't have a choice, because we have to pay the Soil and Water Conservation their fee regardless. So if we don't up it, we get less money if we keep our fees.
There you go. And and what the deal was, when I had the conversation, I wanted to start this discussion. I agree. I just grabbed this and try to get in there, and you're right. I will straighten this to make it clear to reflect us and our code, what we need to do this. So yes, I will do that.
So do you
I
want, are you
I
gonna,
also think that we round these off. Don't use 103, use 110, and don't use 122, use 130.
Yeah, that percentage thing was, I couldn't stand that. I just, let's round off numbers. I agree.
well, you're talking in terms of 125 and only one number. That's
Right.
what you're talking about. And then whatever you're doing with the supplemental borings, do you want to discuss the supplemental borings and then handle this all again next month, or what do you want to do?
Let's do that, because again, I said that, well, my issue was, it was timing and trying to get this on the agenda and all that. And speaking to our soil scientists over the Soil and Water Conservation, I said, I will not have anything until probably March. And maybe I should have relaxed a little bit. I'm trying to keep things moving.
we can't dictate what they charge us.
I agree.
Well, we have control in what you're asking the board to really reflect on, and you want to propose a fee schedule that incorporates those new charges.
That
So
is.
then they can adopt that, so we can have that ready for next month.
Well, you could do it
definitely.
two ways. You could do it with us giving our input, but not passing anything now, and bringing it to the board for them to do it on their own. Or we can come back to the committee next month and discuss what you came up with and make a recommendation. So I don't care which way you want to do it.
I'd rather go back to the drawing board myself, because I
Okay.
don't want it confusing and stuff like that. And I can already see maybe it is a little confusing. And I apologize. I deal with this on a daily basis, and you're right.
Well, you didn't write the letter.
No, I did not write the letter. That is true, but
No, and I think we want to make sure that we are adequately recouping the cost.
Yeah.
Right?
Correct, yeah.
Doing
And it
that.
wouldn't hurt us to make a couple bucks on it either by rounding it off.
that is
We're
true.
gonna
And I'll have some comparisons in other counties. I'll have, yes. I'll
You
have-
know, well, we're below every county out there is anyway.
I know we are
but-
low.
Sandra, Sandra, go ahead.
Todd, I don't think we need to worry about being cost competitive, because if you're in our county, you have to use our county.
Yes, that's in the
You
code.
can say it's not, so Angie, I don't want to make money on it. I want to recoup the cost appropriately. And that includes the support mechanisms, the travel, the labor, because again, it's a kind of I'm going to say the consumer doesn't have any choice. They have to come to us to get these soil and water borings. The costs are fixed by the Soil and Water Conservation District. And then our cost would be fixed. So we can't really, we're not competitive in the sense of, we have to recoup what it really costs us to do this work.
There's no competition.
No, and
There is absolutely no competition. And I'll just really quick, and I get off hand, I that's what we should have. Other counties actually bring in soil scientists and they hire, but they seem to work for developers. And I have this inconsistency. I've did my research and I've talked to other counties, and that's been a problem. I like consistency with one soil scientist across the board instead of going out and bringing everybody and their brother that's licensed with their developers. I don't want that. So,
Todd, I'm not clear on something.
Yeah.
This dollar amount, is that per boring?
yeah, that you get up to 4 borings, a minimum of 4 borings.
Okay.
And I will lay out what our code says. You're right. This is something that it was easy to me to know. But I will put it in our format because it's our code to yes, what Dr. Martel.
Yeah, and it's spell it out exactly what you want us to do and what they're doing.
Exactly. I don't care what they're doing. You're right. I'm doing what we need to do so we can recoup the cost to pay for their services and make sure we're covering our services.
Well, it's nice to know what they're doing. I mean, I just found out they exist. So that's nice to know what they're doing. You could tell us and we can tell the board, but that why we are changing our amount, and I'm fine with what you recommend as long as we break even.
Yes, in the early 90s, I'll tell you what, we were one of the first counties to really get active because we have a great water source, quantity and quality. And this was, we led the charge in the whole state with all of this. So I'm happy what we got. We just need to improve it, making sure it covers costs. So, yeah.
Does the committee want to discuss supplemental borings, or do you want to wait until Todd comes in with his numbers?
First.
Okay, so we'll just wait until you do your reanalysis and come back next month, because I have nothing to do anyway on Wednesdays or any other day.
And I apologize for wasting your time, but I'm glad we had this discussion because I'm going to relate to what section of the code it is. And, let's do this right. I threw this. I'm going, I wear several hats and I'm trying to keep things moving.
No, that's okay. No, Todd, yeah, we'll get it together. But I think, first of all, you're informing the board that there was an increase in fee associated with the Soil and Water Conservation District, important to know, and that you'll be coming back next month to adjust our fees according to incorporate that cost. That's all we're,
Right.
The thing I want to stress is we haven't done this in 10 years.
Yes,
make sure you get the amount. Yeah, make sure you get the amount for a long period of time. If we don't come back to this for a while, we're going to be short again.
True.
In 5 years.
And what I said at the beginning, I know we have covered our costs probably up to maybe a 2 to 3 years at the most, because what we do is a smaller part than what the Soil and Water Conservation does. Obviously, we interpret what the soils are to determine what type of septic system you get, and
you may want to make sure
at the time. Yes,
you want to make sure maybe in 5 years you review the amount and see if it still works. Not wait 10 years.
Ron, I think that's a good idea because of the fact Winnebago County also contributes financing to the Soil and Water Division, and that means then we're running short too, collecting for tax money. So this should be re-looked at every 5 years or even less. It depends on, it should have even the cost of living increase, because that way it keeps us up to code. I mean, up to par. It's something to think about. It's something to think about.
Yes, and thank you. And I think it was about 8 years ago or so, 9 years ago, it went tried and it was stopped. That's a long story, but yes, I'm glad we brought it back to the table to make these adjustments. Yes.
Okay, so now we know we're going to have a meeting next month.
Thank you. Thank you.
I look forward to that.
I was going to say, I mean, I know the board, we have not really built it in. We've tried on some county board things, but this might be one where we could build in, allow us to adjust our portion based on any COLAs, cost of living adjustments on an annual basis for entire review at 5, because every year the cost, we don't do a lot, but there's a 3%, typically 2 point something. We'll have to see what it looks like this year. That's already built into our staff, whether we have to compensate them or the cost of, transportation or driving, the cost of supplies, whatever they need, everything costs a little bit more. And I think we need to start building that in so that in 5 years, we are not behind so far that it looks like a significant increase. And if the
Right.
board is open to that, we could certainly do some projection on that.
Sure.
That's good, Sandra.
That does. I agree.
Okay, that's 3. Do we need an executive session? No. Anything else for the welfare of the country and the county?
No.
No, that's it? Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion. We adjourn.
Second.
All right. All those
Yeah.
in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
And I'll see you guys in what, 20
Nice
minutes?
to see everybody. Yeah.
Hi, Nancy. Yep.
Oh, you won't see me in 20 minutes.
Not me.
You guys are cutting out, are you?
Buddy.
Yeah, enjoy your numbers.